What if I told you a man lost $35 billion in 18 months? He was number 7 on the Forbes list. Then, bankruptcy, prison, house arrest. But here's what they don't want you to know. It's happening again, right now. Another billionaire, another empire, $120 billion at stake. Same playbook, same debt. Who was Eike Batista? Who is the next Eike Batista? Watch. He was going to be the richest man on earth. Instead, he lost $35 billion in 18 months. Eike Batista, Brazil's golden boy, the man who promised to multiply wealth with an X. By 2012, he owned 6 companies: mining, oil, shipbuilding, ports, energy, all publicly traded. Stock prices? Green. Investors flooding in. Abu Dhabi gave him $2 billion for a stake. He lived like a king. Superyachts, private jets, a mansion overlooking Rio's beaches. The story everyone believed? Eike found massive oil reserves off Brazil's coast, billions of barrels. His company, OGX, raised $4 billion in its IPO, one of the largest in Latin American history. Forbes ranked him 7th richest on the planet. Net worth? $35 billion. But here's what they didn't tell you. The oil wasn't there. OGX's massive reserves? Overstated. Production targets? Fantasy. It was all hype. Let's go back to where it really began. 1980, the Amazon gold rush. Eike was 23. He dropped out of engineering school, borrowed a truck, started trading gold, made $6 million in 18 months. His father, Eliezer, Brazil's Minister of Mines, the man who built Vale, the mining giant. Eike learned the formula early: big promises, government connections, public money, leverage. By 2000, he founded EBX. The X stood for multiplying wealth. 6 companies, all over-leveraged. Here's the trap. Each company was collateral for the others. One domino falls, they all fall. OGX was the flagship, the bet. If the oil was real, Eike becomes the richest man alive. But in 2012, engineers drilled and found nothing. Wells were dry. Production? 7% of projections. Investors panicked. Stock prices collapsed. OGX fell 99% in 1 year. The debt? Billions. OGX couldn't pay. October 13th, bankruptcy, the largest in Latin American history. And then the dominoes fell. MMX, the mining company, sold. OSX, the shipyard, worthless. LLX ports, seized by creditors. MPX Energy, sold to Germany. The empire dismantled in months. Eike's net worth from $35 billion to -$1 billion. Fastest wealth destruction ever recorded. He sold everything: the yacht, the jets, his Ferrari collection, even his mansion mortgaged. But the worst part, he'd promised his investors gold, given them dust. 20,000 people lost their jobs. Pensioners, families, small investors who believed in Brazil's golden boy. Their savings evaporated. Then came the investigators. Operation Car Wash, Brazil's biggest corruption probe, and Eike's name was on the list. 2017, they arrested him. The charge? Paying 16 million blaze to Rio's governor for contracts. 90 days in prison, then house arrest. 2018, 30-year sentence. Bribery, money laundering, market manipulation. He still denies it, claims he was sabotaged, blames bankers, rivals, the government, everyone but himself. But here's the twist. Even from house arrest, Eike is trying again. New ventures, new promises. 2024, he launches Supercane, genetically modified sugarcane, claims it'll produce 12 times more ethanol. Then, a cryptocurrency named after himself, $Eike, tied to the sugarcane project. Sound familiar? The Brazilian ethanol industry, skeptical. They've heard these promises before. They remember OGX. So, could it happen again? Could another billionaire fall like Batista? The answer is yes, Because right now, on the other side of the world, there's a man following the exact same playbook. His name is Gautam Adani, India's infrastructure king. Ports, airports, energy, coal, green hydrogen. 2022, his net worth hits $120 billion, third richest on Earth, richer than Batista ever was. Same formula as Eike: massive debt, government connections, rapid acquisitions, all leveraged to the hilt. Then, January 2023, a short seller releases a report, 106 pages. The title? Adani Fraud. The allegations? Stock manipulation, offshore shell companies, accounting fraud, family members secretly controlling shares. Within 24 hours, Adani stocks crashed. The group lost half its market value, $52 billion, gone. Bloomberg called it worse than Eike Batista. The speed? 6 days. Batista took 18 months. Adani canceled a $2.5 billion stock offering. His personal fortune? Cut in half overnight. But here's the difference. Adani fought back, denied everything, bought back shares, paid down debt aggressively. By 2024, he recovered, net worth back to $90 billion, still India's second richest, still over-leveraged. Look at the patterns. Both built empires on infrastructure, both used massive debt, both had government ties, both promised revolutionary projects, both attracted foreign billions, both faced credibility crises. Batista's trigger? Failed oil wells. Adani's trigger? A short seller report. But the structure? Identical. The question isn't if Adani could fall again, it's when, because the debt is still there. Analysts are watching, short sellers are circling. One more crisis, one more report, and it could be over. The coal bets, the green hydrogen promises, the airport expansions, all funded by debt, billions in debt. Interest rates rise, commodity prices drop, political winds shift. Any one of these triggers the collapse. And unlike Batista, Adani's fall would be bigger. The Indian economy, pension funds, millions of jobs at stake. Other names on the watch list? Chinese property tycoons, tech founders, anyone building empires on leverage. Because here's the pattern. Big promises, cheap money, hype over substance. It always ends the same way. Eike Batista lost $35 billion, went to prison, still trying to sell dreams from house arrest. Gautam Adani survived 2023, but the empire is fragile, one shock away from repeating history. So remember this: wealth built on promises evaporates. Wealth built on debt collapses. Every single time. The next Eike Batista? He's already out there, building, promising, leveraging, and the clock is ticking.